I could just do it right now. Just let me
Wondering when
know
I
when
have
you...
to take the eye medicine, so I might disappear.
Okay. Just let me know when you're done or if you need help. Go to your game base. I don't know. I need to choose. I think I have all the chats and stuff turned off. No one ever writes any chat messages anyway, so. Yeah, that was interesting. I guess Morgana's having a nightmare right now. Child. That is a very dark place. Now that I think about it, how are they paying for the services? Quite a day today. There she is. She's back. Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Good lord. Sony's gonna have to pull some insane download their app again. Is it one app now? Because there used to be like 5 and none of them worked.
They did update an app when the PS5 came out. Oh, we lost her again.
Oh no, she's here. She just switched to PS5.
Oh.
Yes. I wasn't sure if it was going to pop up because it decided at the. You know what? My internet went out at the same time. It was like the updates for you. The USB has not been applied. The internet went out when I was trying to update. I love it,
Welcome back, Morgana.
and it had a fit. I was super close to finding a way to attach everything into my PC and just do it that way. I'm dreaming.
Of a better network.
This is all a bad dream. Mother, I never say such things about. It's just a dream.
Good morning, my darling little saint. Is something the matter? You look vexed.
Mother, last night.
Did something happen last night?
No, nothing happened. Mother, I've always been a saint, right? From the day I was born.
What's gotten into you, my dear? Of course, you are the daughter of God. Nothing will ever change that.
Thank you. But it was all a dream. I should just forget about all of it.
Oh, I almost forgot. I have something for you. I'm sure you'll love it.
Hmm?
For your 6th birthday. It's not much, but will you wear it?
What is it?
It's a little brooch. You can use it with a shawl or a cloak.
It's a butterfly.
Butterflies are said to be God's messengers, so I thought it would fit you nicely, my dear.
It's so pretty. Ah,
Hmm?
I mustn't allow myself to be taken in by a shallow, worldly beauty. I am not an ordinary little girl. Father would be greatly disappointed in me if I were to behave like one. Thank you very much, Mother. Your gift means a great deal to me. Of course, I will make use of it.
You're quite welcome. Hard to believe you're only 6 years old.
What was that, Mother?
Oh, nothing. Before I forget, after what you did the other day, people have begun asking about having you perform miracles for them too. But you're still so young. I'm not sure it's wise for you to go around giving out blood to everyone who asks.
No, it's fine. I will do it. It is my sacred duty as a saint to those in need before myself.
Even if it means cutting yourself up every day?
I will accept the pain gladly. It is a symbol of the good work I do in my Father's name.
I see. Well, you've made up your mind, it seems. So I'll support you in any way I can. Yet another busy day. It's been 3 years with no end in sight. We're starting to see more and more travelers from faraway lands. People have even set up trading posts in the village. Yet not a single coin comes our way. We're losing money every day. Morgana?
What is it, Mother? I must prepare for my next blessing.
Why must you hand out miracles for nothing?
Why would you even ask such a question, Mother?
We're barely holding on as it is, my dear. It's not wrong to expect a little remuneration for your services.
No, Mother. It is wrong. Miracles are not to be bartered with for. God the Father does not charge for his miracles. So why should we, when I am only borrowing his power?
Listen to me, Morgana. Every time you give someone a blessing, you're hurting yourself. If not for the miracle itself, you still deserve some degree of compensation for the pain.
I know you're concerned for me, Mother. And I appreciate it very much. But I'm happy with the way things are. I'm happy to be able to help others with my Heavenly Father's power.
A power you won't have much longer, my dear, if we can't afford to keep ourselves fed.
I'm a saint, aren't I?
Yes, you're my sweet little saint.
God will not forsake his saint. No matter how difficult it may get, he'll always provide me a way to continue his work. And you're the mother of that saint, aren't you?
Yes, that's right. I conceived you untainted by the hands of a man.
Then you must respect his will as well, Mother. It must be our highest priority.
You're right. I was wrong, my dear saint.
Mother, Mother, you agreed with me. You said I was right. So why are you taking money from that man? Mother. Why? I mustn't let myself cry. I must always stay strong. I must endure his trials. My saintly grace must not waver. Father would be greatly disappointed in me. And then I would have nowhere to call home.
My entire head is throbbing. What a wonderful day we start today. I'd like to sleep in for another 6 to 12 hours, but still got things to take care of after yesterday. First, down to pub to talk to the gang.
Whoa. I drank way too much.
Dear God. Gabby.
Ah, Jacopo! I need your help! I can't carry everyone out all by myself!
Alright. I dragged him to the streets. Please don't shout though. My head hurts enough as it is.
Thank you!
Except stop shouting!
Whoa.
I guess I'll start with them.
Morning, friends.
Oh, it's the big guy from last night!
Name's Gratien. Try not to forget it, because you'll be seeing a lot of me. Which reminds me, I never got your name.
I'm just a trifling little flower. My name isn't important. But if you lend us a hand, that would be lovely!
A hand with what? I'm just here for the booze.
Haven't you had enough?
Not even close.
Well, there isn't anything left! Or did you forget that two of you, last night, drunk the whole town dry? We're just going to be a plain old restaurant for at least the next few days.
Oh well, that's a crying shame.
And whose fault do you think that is?
Ugh. How much more trust is this gonna take? No, it's still up like rocks. Oh, thought they erected a new wall for there for a second. That's just you. It's just so we're clear, since there wasn't any real resolution last night. You passed out first, which means I...
Hey, top of the morning, Jacopo. And what a beautiful morning it is.
You seem to be doing quite well. I happened to the aggressively competitive Gratien of last night.
I had you all wrong, Jacopo.
What?
I had you pegged for the stick up your ass rich boy kind of fella, but you drink like a real pro. The true measure of a man is how well he holds his booze. And you proved yourself. You're one hell of a man.
Sure.
At least give me a hearty hell yeah, would you? Don't tell me I was wrong about being wrong about you.
I'm just not at full capacity at the moment. It's taking me a little longer than normal to process.
Anywho, point is, you got my seal of approval. We helped each other out back at Lord Asswipe's manor, but now we're comrades. Partners in crime.
Hold up.
What? Don't want to be partners?
I never said that. You make it sound like you're planning on staying, though.
I most certainly do.
You were one of the Lord's slaves. You know, the slaves who incited the revolt. It's not safe for you to stay here. Starting to identify you, you'll be dead in...
Life's too short to quibble over shit like, someone might be trying to kill you.
It's hardly crippling. There's a reason we all have the other slaves transported to different cities.
Trust me, I know it ain't safe for me to stick around. I want to be here when that Orson family gets what's coming.
Like hell.
Like how I'm bailing before his head's on a pike.
Okay then. As long as you're aware of the risk, that's your choice to make. In that case, I'm glad to have you. In addition to such a valiant comrade, you'll be quite inspiring to the rest of the gang.
You're damn right it will. You should have just said that to begin with. Skip all the not safe nonsense. Besides, everything you just said applies the same to you. As far as anyone in that manner is concerned, you're a slave as much as me. Your infiltration job didn't exactly have you laying low. They'll recognize you.
Fair enough. Haven't heard any wanted posters going up yet, but you're right. It's best to remain cautious for now. Though as long as we keep to the slums, we should be relatively safe, for the time being.
As amusing a thought as that is, we're safer in this lawless dump than the city proper.
Indeed, but the gang has eyes and ears covering the entire district. If someone who doesn't belong shows up, word will spread quickly.
So if the Lord's guy tries to slip in, their cover will be blown just like that, huh?
Precisely. Which isn't to say it's a good part of town, of course. We have more than our fair share of hooligans. You have to be able to protect yourself. Which that would be an issue for you.
Oh yeah, bring on the pickpockets. I'll rob every last one of them blind. Maybe even literally.
Glad he's on our side. Well, you're gonna be staying here? I should probably show you more than just our public choice. You need to find work as well. Not that this should prove any trouble. With your muscles, you can choose pretty much anything. a bodyguard, a carpenter, a metal worker, whatever you like. But first, can I ask you to help me get those dolts outside?
Aye, aye. Where do you want me to toss them?
Be gentle with them, would you would. They are ours, for what it's worth. Good lord. Between cleaning up the pub and showing Gratien around town, that goes most of my day. The brothel's probably open by now. But the back entrance it is. Hey, anyone home? No one? Not even the girl? Don't tell me she ran out wandering around in her condition.
Oh, hey there, Jacobo. Perfect timing.
Maria, the girl, where did she go?
Huh? She was here last I checked.
Last you checked? You're supposed to be looking after her. Anyway, help me look for her.
Yeah, I don't think that'll,
Excuse me?
turn around.
What? What? Where you been? I didn't even sense her approaching. I swear, she just appeared there, like a ghost. And where'd you get those clothes?
Oh, yeah. We were digging around in the dressing room and found it there. I wanted to get her into something a little cuter, but she insisted on that. I didn't even know we had clothes that bland here. Girls come and go, though, so it probably belonged to someone who's not around anymore. Still, I'm shocked anyone who worked here ever wore such a boner killer.
It's a cloak for pilgrimage.
Huh?
An outfit someone wears while on a pilgrimage. This is far, far more beautiful than any of the filthy whore rags.
Oh, a pilgrimage, huh? I never would have guessed we had a girl who was into that.
Yet she abandoned her spiritual journey and entered it into this den of sinners.
I guess?
Nevertheless, I'm glad there was clothing suitable for me to wear.
Yeah, talk about luck. Anyway, I've got an appointment. I'll be back.
What? Hey, Maria! I get that she's difficult, but you didn't have to dish me, damn it. It is a rather plain outfit, though. All black and brown. You're probably blending quite well with the darkness. Which would explain why I couldn't find her when I got here.
Why are you staring at me?
Well, I'm glad you found something you could wear with your brooch. Also, God, keeping a conversation going with her is like pulling teeth. Yeah, you look like you're doing a lot better than yesterday. Much more color in your cheeks.
If you can tell the difference beneath these scars.
It's an expression. I'm just saying you look much better. You barely even sit up yesterday. Recovering impressively quickly. Imagine it won't be long before you're back at full capacity.
Yesterday,
What about yesterday?
Thank you for rescuing.
What? Right, that. No, don't mention it. It was nothing. Really.
That's not what you said last night.
Oh, come on. Just let me be humble, would you? Anyway, I wasn't expecting that. I was readying myself for another argument. I also wasn't sure how much of what happened you remembered, and how hysterical you got.
I was not hysterical.
My arm begs to...
My mind was clear almost the whole time. I remember everything. First a slave, you, saved my life from the wicked lord.
I'm not actually a slave, but details.
You took me by the arm, you put me on your back and fled from the lord's manor.
That I did.
I was a little hazy for some of the trip, but by the time you reached the poor quarter, my mind had cleared up mostly entirely.
What?
My consciousness had returned by that point.
Oh?
You brought me to this grotto, and yes, at first I was frightened, because I believed you meant to have me become a whore. But that is one and only instance of me last night you could describe as hysterical. I remember everything quite well. Thank you.
Okay then. Fair enough. You're right. Can't tell if she's sincere or just trying to convince herself. She's unusually repulsed by the idea of her losing her cool. She's not entirely right, but she's not entirely wrong either. So I'll let her have this one. In the event, you recovered well enough to hold a conversation, which is great to see.
What do you mean to do to me? What?
Better question. What do you want to do? Alright, well... Here's an idea. If you don't have anything, you can stay here until you're all the way back on your feet. Maria's already set aside that room for you.
You want me to stay in this file-gathering place of sinners?
You do realize who you're talking about, right? Those vile sinners are the ones who took you in. Who agreed to look after you. They're no different than you or me. Just doing what they must to get by.
I am not like them.
You're right. They don't look down on others for their line of work. At the very least, try to keep your callous prejudice against prostitutes to yourself when they're around, would you?
Why? Isn't my sacred duty to spread the word of God? Indulging in carnal pleasure is a sin, no matter the reason. Prostitutes are filthy, tainted women.
Jeez. Did all the blood the Lord took cause your damn heart to shrivel up? In what world is it reasonable for you to go up to women offering you sanctuary and call them to their faces sinners? Show them some gratitude, damn it!
You're the one who brought me here. I never asked them to do anything.
Oh fine, whatever. If you're not opposed to staying here, then go! Get the hell out of here! You don't deserve that hospitality! Go off and preach the word of God and call everyone sinners. I expect someone to find you dead inside the road in less than a fortnight.
Very well. Thank you for yesterday. And farewell.
Wait! Wait.
Yes.
Are you insane? You're not supposed to actually go.
You're the one who told me to leave.
I just... After a great start with that 3 years of icebreaking, Jacobo. You've been through hell, you know that. I'm sorry. I'll take everything back. That was extremely childish of me. So please, reconsider. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night knowing I chased you out.
You cannot seem to make up your mind, can you?
It was a hard-to-moment thing. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. I don't actually want you to leave. Good lord. Alright, the ointment. Did you apply it like I told you to?
No.
Really? Well, in that case, I do it now. You need help with your back either way.
You're a very curious man.
Huh? Why do you say that?
No reason. I'm simply saying the first thing that came to mind.
Don't tell me you think I have unscrupulous taste like Maria seems to believe.
Hmm?
Let me make this perfectly clear. I would not lay a finger on you. You're just a child, for God's sake. Now, sit down. Well, look at that. I'll have to fight her on this.
Is something the matter?
I never told you to undress.
Were you wanting to apply the ointment to my clothes then?
Good point. That wouldn't help very much, would it? God damn it, Jacobo. Calm the hell down. Or are you trying to make yourself look like a liar? She just caught me off guard. That's all. The girl quietly disrobed, then knelt down. She had been naked when I saved her from the Lord, so it wasn't like this was my first time seeing her unclothed. But I was in the middle of a revolt. I didn't exactly have time to get a good look. She was almost frighteningly scrawny, her arms barely any bigger than the bones within. Her skin was so pale I could see the blue veins running beneath it. And then, of course, there's a crisscrossing web of scars. Each one stood out clearly against her pale skin. The scars covered her whole body, front and back. I could hardly find a patch of skin that hadn't been desecrated. Looking at her, I was gripped with a mix of burning rage and bitter sadness, neither of which I had a source of relief for. But the most upsetting thing was how she just sat there, exposed, completely emotionless. Quite a change from how she behaved last night. Today I'm the one doing all the shouting. Almost feels like I'm looking at a lifeless puppet. I scooped up some of the ointment with my fingers and gently rubbed it across her wounded flesh. Every time my hand made contact, she shuddered, but she never recoiled or objected. Though it felt less like she was willingly accepting my aid, more like she was simply enduring, waiting for it to be over. It was almost silent in the room, save for the cries and moaning that made its way through the walls. Sitting naked and broth of why a strange man rubbed medicine on her. Could only imagine how pleasant that must be, considering how devout she seemed to be. She was probably doing everything in her power to cut herself off from the whole experience. I wondered if, perhaps, she might one day come to realize that we were not trying to insult her and demean her. and that we were simply concerned for her, that we wanted to give her a place she could feel safe. So is this all Dolores doing? You don't have to answer if you're not comfortable.
Except for my arms, yes.
Someone else did your arms then?
No. I cut them myself.
I thought suicide was a sin. Is self-mutilation allowed then? I'm not sure what the rules on that are. You have a lot to live for. And that was part of the extent of our conversation as applied to Ointment. I couldn't come with any small talk, and I didn't want to press any further about her scars or her time with the Lord. So I quietly worked, so he quietly let me do my work. By the time it was all over, I was exhausted. It felt like it taken more out of me than the couple of hours I had spent dragging unconscious drunks from the pub. When I told her I was finished, she let out a sigh of relief, the first sign of emotion I've seen from her since we began.
Thank you.
Oh, wait. You're not quite done. Still have to take care of your face.
No. I'm fine. Thank you.
I beg to differ. If anything, you should be most concerned about your face. Now come on, look at me.
Do I have to?
Well, yeah. It'd be kinda silly to do everything but your face.
I can do it myself.
Uh-huh, sure, yeah. Not happening. I'm going to finish what I started.
Why can't I do it myself?
Because my gut tells me you just slap a little on and call it done. I want to make sure it's taken care of properly. So look at me, show me your face.
Fine.
It was bizarre how she had so little hesitation exposing her naked body, yet vehemently resisting letting me see her face. Whether anyone else I knew, it would be the other way around. The wounds on her face seemed to hold much more significance to her than those on the rest of her body. When she asked me to kill her yesterday, it was immediately after seeing herself in the mirror. But the marks on her face were that upsetting. Would she want them to heal? So why was she fighting about me about it? Did she have some other reason to hide her face from me? Whatever it was that drove her actions, I couldn't make any sense of it. Let me know if it stings. Relax, I won't bite. You weren't this tense when I was applying the ointment to the rest of you.
Just get it over with.
Alright, alright. You know, I just realized, I don't know your name. Would you mind telling me? No? You won't tell me? Well, in that case, I just come up with something to call you myself. I'm serious. I'll pick the first thing that comes to mind. There's still time. You just have to tell me your name. Okay, then. You had your chance. Allison it is, because you bite, just like an alley cat. I tell the girls here to call you that too.
Please don't.
Oh, finally, you speak. If you're not happy with the name, tell me what to call you. You have until the count of 3, and then you're Allison for good. 1, 2, 3. Isn't your whole name, is it? Huh. So you're... I can honestly be a little embarrassed about that. It's not my place to talk, and I know, I don't mean any ill will, but that's a very, unfortunate name you were given.
That's not my name. It's Morgana.
Now that wasn't so hard, was it? It's just a nice name, Morgana. I like it. Also, reminds me of my homeland.
Your homeland?
Yeah. I mean, I hardly remember anything about my childhood anymore. Couldn't even tell you the name of my country. But I have these vague memories of how the language sounded. Your name doesn't sound like a name native to these parts. Sounds like something would fit right in with those memories of my homeland. I wish I guess you probably come from the same part of the world as me. If you go back far enough, we can find we share ancestors. But who knows? How do you like that? Feeling a little sense of kinship?
The thought very much displeased me.
Well, okay then. Be a grouch. I'll let it slide though. Getting your name out of me, you, put me in a good mood. It's nice to formally make your acquaintance, Morgana. My name's Jacobo. Hey, Morgana. One day, I'll show you the world.
What?
There's so much more out there than this tiny little corner of Earth we're rotting away in. More than I can possibly imagine. I'm gonna go out into the world, experience true freedom. I'm gonna bring you with me. So try to stay positive. Wants to see for yourself how much bigger the world out there is, how different every region and its people are. Might change your perspective on things a bit. Might even help you forget some of this crap you've been through. Alright, now I'm done. They end up taking pretty much all the ointment. Now to go buy some more. Well, should probably get going. You be alright on your own?
I would much prefer it, in fact.
Alright. Sorry to be such a nuisance. See you again tomorrow.
My whole body is all slimy. After the slave man left, I retreated to a corner of the room, sat down and pulled my knees up to my chest. Through the walls I could hear men and women singing, so I plugged my ears in an attempt to block out the vile noise. It was filthy here. If I remained in this place too long, it would probably taint my soul. I needed to get out as soon as possible. But I couldn't bring myself to leave. My body refused to cooperate. Just thinking about going out there into the slums all alone sent uncontrollable shivers down my spine. I was without our God. What did I have to fear? Such worldly emotions were unbefitting of a saint. I was pitiful, pathetic, and I hated it. I have nothing to fear. God will always lead his saint to where he needs her most. And as long as I continue performing miracles, people will acknowledge me as a true daughter of God. I have nothing to fear.
You're a damn witch wearing a saint's skin.
Will they, though? Will anyone look at me and see a saint? I can hardly see a saint in this face. The Lord and his guests, with their revulsion, their fear, that was the appropriate action. I was repulsive. Not something to be welcomed with open arms. Saints and angels were always spoken of as beautiful, while demons and witches were spoken of as hideous. Any miracles I performed would be seen as the work of the devil, not God. But it didn't matter. It was my sacred duty to offer a helping hand to anyone, no matter how much persecution I suffered from it. My heart was resolute, but my head is all muddled. I can't stand this.
One day, I'll show you the world.
And thinking about the slave man only made an even bigger mess inside my head. It wasn't all unpleasant, though. He didn't push me away because of how I looked. He treated me like an ordinary girl. Not a witch. And not a saint either. And besides, I was being disrespectful. I know that. He is well within his rights to be angry. He could have let me go, but he didn't. He got angry, but he told me to stay. Put ointment on me. Smiled even. A very curious man. And then there was what he had said about his homeland. Just because my name reminded him of where he didn't mean I came from there as well. Never mind that nonsense about us sharing ancestors. I had no bloodline to trace back. My mother had conceived me without knowing the man. And my father resided in the heavens above, the Lord God. The very idea that we shared blood was absurd. And yet, what if somewhere on this earth there are people who shared my blood? Who feel what I do, who think what I think, who see the world the same as me? What if somewhere like that really does exist? That would be very, so very.
There she is. An early summer breeze blew past, rustling very green leaves. With the pleasantly warm winds as my back, I entered the graveyard. Anyone who wasn't from around here would probably have thought it nothing more than curious arrangement of stones on abandoned plotted land, though. No one knew the names of most of those buried here, and they probably died without anyone by their sides. In death, though, they finally found themselves with someone to give them attention, to show them love. Love in the form of prayer, for the repose of their souls. And on this abandoned plot of land, now the de facto caretaker, a young girl and the only person who paid the dead who lay here any mine. She's too deep in prayer. I guess I'll have to wait. It had been a little under 2.5 years since I had rescued Morgana from the Lord's Manor. Much to my chagrin, she was still far from anything that could be described as opening up, but she wasn't quite as distant as before, from my perspective at least. She had stopped calling the girls at the brothel vile and impure, and she was even somewhat conversational. Sometimes. It seemed to me her trauma had loosened its grip on her, if only a little. Of course, she had a tendency to be on the brutally blunt side, which became more obvious as she started talking more. And I felt like the brutal part was getting more prominent every day. Though I suppose it was a good sign. Better than her refusing to interact at all, at least. Probably. She had also most notably begun showing signs of independence. Burying sending off the dead who had no family or loved ones to do it for them was one such activity she had taken on. Living in the slums, it was hardly uncommon to see corpses abandoned in alleyways or on the side of the road. Generally speaking, to be tossed off into a ditch somewhere, on the way to rot. But over the past couple of years, that had stopped happening, because Morgana had taken off on herself to give them proper burials and a gravestone. Nothing fancy, just a plain slab of rock to mark the grave, but it certainly seemed much more respectable than the alternative. Every day she came out to the graveyard to pray for the departed. She had always seemed a bit abnormally pious, but there was something almost frightening about her dedication to the task. She was only 9 years old at the time of the slave revolt, which made her 11 now. And rather than play with the other children her age, she collected abandoned corpses in the slums and brought them to bury and pray for. Abnormal didn't even begin to describe it. Some time ago I asked her, "Why don't you go out and play like the other children?" To which she calmly responded, "I could not possibly waste my time idly engaged in worldly recreation." I knew that God was the most important figure in her life, but it still seemed excessive. Not even the covenant was that draconian. I made numerous attempts to warm her up, but they all fell flat. Nothing I said seemed to make it through that heavy wall she had built around herself. That was how Morgana acted around me and the girls at the brothel, those closest to her. The rest of the town could hardly get within shouting distance before being shut out. Though it wasn't like they tried either. Almost everyone else actively distanced themselves from her. On some level, they appreciated her taking care of the bodies that showed up. But ultimately, to them, she was little more than a spider that captured more dangerous insects, begrudgingly left to its own devices. Hardly anyone found her pleasant. And didn't hide her either. But not just because of her choice in hobbies. The biggest factor was, of course,
may your soul find eternal peace.
the disquieting marks covering her face. You all done?
I didn't realize you were there.
Been here for a little while now. Should really pay more attention to your surroundings. This isn't exactly the safest area.
Why bother? No one is going to do anything.
Maybe not now, but a few years down the line, there's a whole nother story. Should get in the habit early. You're a grown girl. If face could very well be better by then too. Never mind the fact that there are people out there who would take anything as long as it's got girl parts. But if one of them decides to target you,
Appalling.
Aren't they? This is why I should be a little bit more careful.
You are an appalling man.
Why am I appalling?
Because the thought crossed your mind.
It did not. I'm just saying there are some people out there who think like that. You need to look out for yourself.
The fact you would say that at all is appalling.
I'm just looking out for you.
My lord, may this sinful man be cast down to hell, where he belongs.
Jeez. You know no mercy, do you? I feel like you treat these corpses nicer than you do me.
You'll be correct. If you want to be nice to me, go die.
The girl has no mercy. Anyway, you're done praying. Get over here. It's ointment time.
How many times must I tell you? You're wasting your time.
Don't be such a pessimist. Rome wasn't built in a day. And there are still other ointments we haven't tried.
I am not being pessimist. I just...
Then unless you want to stay looking like that, what do you have to lose? Now come on, off at the hood.
You are a very stubborn man.
Pot kettle. Call me whatever you want. Nothing you can say would bother me in the slightest.
I loathed you.
What?
You were saying?
You're kidding, right?
Partially.
You little...
I thought you were going to apply the ointment. What are you waiting for?
I sighed and gave her a little glower, then scooped up some ointment with my fingers. Morgana angled her face towards the floor, closed her eyes, and waited for me to begin. There was an element within the gang that gave me flack for all the time I spent looking after her and caring for Morgana. Well, it was mostly just Gratien, actually. If I were you, I would have tossed that ungrateful brat out on her ass years ago. It would be another story if you were to look her, of course. And to a degree, I understood where he was coming from. I certainly would have appreciated a little gratitude. On the other hand, all the time spent with her, it was largely being verbally abused, allowed me to notice the more subtle changes in her mannerisms. Seeing that growth, however small, was one of the things that motivated me to keep at it. For example, a year ago, whenever I wanted to make physical contact with her, I would have to verbally reassure her that I had no intention to do her any harm or she was likely to start shouting. And even if she didn't, she would sit there the whole time and applied ointment, incredibly stiff. Now, she was more relaxed. I could even sense a sort of trust emanating from within her as my fingers rubbed against her skin. It wasn't my imagination. At least, I didn't think it was. It was something only perceptible through the act of making direct physical contact. That said, she's still borderline inscrutable. As I massaged the ointment to her skin, I traced the outline of her face with the flat of my thumb. The vast majority of her face was discolored. In places, patches had festered and fallen off. The skin at the corners of her lips was shriveled and curled up, which I could only imagine was fairly painful. It was rough and uneven, hardly a pleasant sensation, a far cry from the clean, smooth skin most girls her age would have. Maybe she's right. I think we show some sign of healing by now, if we're going to. Despite my constant insistence that she stay optimistic, it was probably me who was most disappointed, most frustrated at the complete lack of an improvement. The ointment wasn't cheap, to be sure, but I don't give a damn about the money. It was a sense of hopelessness that got me. It was all for nothing. Back when we first took her in, Maria had suggested the marks on Morgana's face might be a manifestation of something psychological or emotional. I was beginning to think she was right. That wasn't going to stop me from trying, though. This was the only thing I could think of to do for her. I wonder what she looked like when she's all healed. If she smiled for once. I'd like to see that. Someday.
Hello? Is anyone in there?
You need something? Oh, sorry, I got lost in my thoughts. I didn't realize I stopped.
Lost in your thoughts? That sounds positively dreadful.
What's that supposed to mean? I was just thinking about what you...
What?
Never mind. Finishing that, just begging for another round of this duration.
That's not why I wanted you to get your attention either way. What happened there?
Where?
Your arm. It's cut.
Morgana pointed to a gash peeking out from beneath my sleeve. Well, it wasn't a very deep wound. It was hardly a mere scratch either. Oh yeah, that's, you know.
I decidedly do not know.
It's not important. Don't worry about it.
Use that on yourself.
Huh?
The ointment. Stop washing it. Stop wasting it on my face, which is never going to heal, and use it on yourself.
No need to get so worked up about it, Morgana.
I am not worked up. I am simply expressing my discontent at your foolishness.
Which, I'm pretty sure, is the definition of being worked up.
Regardless, don't use any more ointment on me. Use it on yourself. I'm sure it will appreciate actually being useful for once.
Last I checked, medicine doesn't have feelings. Really, it's not that bad. Besides, I'm only gonna get more, so what's the difference?
You're going to get more. What are you doing that would make you say that?
Yeah,
Too sinful to admit. You're an abhorrent man.
No, I swear, it's nothing bad. You win. I'll tell you. I was hoping to keep it a secret. Doing a little training.
Training.
Yeah, crime and unrest has been on the rise in the slums. Or well, not just the slums, the city proper too. Things were quiet for a while after the slave revolt, but the Lord suddenly imposed a major tax increase about 6 months ago, which has resulted in a significant number of people unable to afford living in the city. To put it simply, the iron fist is squeezing even tighter than ever. As a result, there's been a huge influx of people into the slums. You know how tight things are already, don't you? What do you suppose happens when you have limited resources and space and suddenly twice as many people vying for their share? People start taking to stake out their territory and finding hard to defend it. People are mugging and robbing each other over scraps. It's a mess.
I had no idea.
Not many thieves pick makeshift graveyards as their marks, after all. Though in this case, I actually think your being so isolated is probably to your benefit. But in any event, me and the rest of the gang have formed a band of peacekeepers, of sorts.
Peacekeepers. Is that not the city guard's job?
The guards have never given a damn about the slums. Why waste manpower on people you can't even pay the taxes? As far as the Lord and his men are concerned, we're just leeching off his land. We're damn lucky he doesn't make an active effort to chase us all out. That means it's our responsibility to protect ourselves.
I see. So you're trained to use a sword as part of this band of peacekeepers.
In short, yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting. In what way?
Give me the ointment.
Huh? I'm not done with your...
What's even left? You've done more than enough. Now, give it to me.
Here.
Roll up your sleeve.
You're not gonna put it on me, are you? Like I said, I don't need...
How many times have I told you the exact same thing? And how many times have you listened to me? This is payback for all the times you refused to listen to me. You can't argue with that, can you?
No, I guess I can't.
What are you smirking about?
Nothing.
Try to keep this sort of thing to a minimum, would you, if you would?
Huh? Why would I want you to limit my training time? I need to be prepared for whatever might come our way. That madman Lord could be scheming to send soldiers in as we speak.
I'm sure there are others more suited for the job. You don't seem like you would be especially adept with a blade.
Hey, don't judge my skill by my appearance. How'd you know? I'm the second strongest member of the gang.
Oh yes, that is very reassuring.
You're on fire today, huh? Since the scene I've forgotten, I put up damn decent fight against the Lord during the... God, what the hell is wrong with me? Why am I digging up some of the most painful memories for a cheap brag? Anyway, you get an idea. I'm pretty good with a sword, so you don't need to worry about me.
I see. And out of curiosity, who's the strongest member?
Excuse me? Why would she ask me to my face to give her the name of one man stronger than me?
It's not a difficult question.
Some asshole named Gratien.
Interesting. Well, I hope he remains number one, and you stay number two forever.
And why exactly would you want that? The whole reason I'm training so hard is so I can surpass Gratien. She wants to stay below him? Unbelievable. I get it. It's easy for you to look down on me if there's someone who can put me in my place for you.
That isn't why.
No? Well then, mind telling me why?
The strongest member of the group is the one who stands on the front lines.
What's your point? The most qualified person has the charge, yes. I don't see anything wrong with that.
It puts them at greater risk.
Wait, are you concerned for my safety?
It's not you I'm concerned about. Your death will simply make life more difficult for the girls at the brothel.
Well, would you look at that? You worried about me. Guess even you have a soft spot or two.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. I already told you that's not why I'm all done.
Thanks. No, I assume you're finished with your business here, so feel free to make yourself scarce. Shit!
If things it kind of fit too, so I almost fell for it as well.
Now, I assumed you're finished with your business here, so feel free to make yourself scarce.
No need to be so rude. Or do you have some ulterior motive for wanting me gone?
For one, it's impossible for the dead to rest in peace with you around.
Maybe try thinking about the living first for once? I don't really care for how much importance people put on showing respect for their dead. It all seems so pointless to me.
Your blasphemy knows no end, does it? When your time comes, you're going to find yourself with no one to grieve over your loss.
Fine with me. People are only worth their salt while they're alive.
And what about the afterlife?
Who's got time to think about the next life when you live in an overcrowded slum, where someone might kill you in one day for a couple coins?
All the more reason to take into consideration. The consequences one's actions in life have on the next should serve to encourage us to always do what is right.
Not sure I'll buy that.
I'm done with this conversation. I don't think there is any getting through that thick soul of yours.
If I offended you, I apologize. I didn't mean to. Say, Morgana, would you mind humming that song you're so fond of for me?
Where did that come from?
I'm in a good mood today. What better way to improve a good day than with good music?
I do not follow the line of reasoning one bit. Why should I have to sing to make you feel better?
What's the big deal? Doesn't hurt anyone. You have even half a heart. You do this tiny little favor for me.
Yes, because trying to manipulate me is a wonderful way to make me want to do anything for you.
Okay, I'm sorry. That was mean of me. Please?
That doesn't sound very sincere. But fine, I'll do it.
Facing away from me, Morgana dropped to the grassy ground, staring off into the distance, and beginning to hum. It wasn't a hymn or a requiem for the dead, but a folk song the girls at the brothel would sometimes sing. No one seemed to know who had written it, though. The lyrics were slightly vulgar, and people were supposed to clap and hoot along with the music. Morgana only hummed the melody, leaving the rest of that out. In isolation, sung with her voice, it became a thing of beauty. It was pure, untainted by the filthiness of the slums, unscared by the crudeness of the people who normally sang it. In many ways, it was hard to believe they were the same song. It felt like it was hers, like it existed slowly to be heard in her voice. Listening to her sing, I sprawled out on the grass. The blue sky spread out above me as far as the eye could see. As I gazed up into it, all my problems seemed to fade away. Now I live in a dirty slum, that the Lord is digging his claws even deeper into the city. I was in the middle of a makeshift graveyard for those people that no one else. So I just disappeared. Felt almost though I had ascended to heaven. The first time I heard Morgana sing was, if memory served, approximately a year earlier. At the time, she was still completely walled off, much like she had been when I first brought her to the slums. She always kept her eyes on her feet. She spoke in a soft voice, frequently pausing. She was wary of everyone, including me. One day I went to put ointment on her face and she shouted, "Ward," practically for me not to touch her. To be honest, it was somewhat aggravating. Another asked her about her father and she just pointed up at the sky, saying, "He's up there." Which I took to mean he was dead, so I dropped the subject and got back to applying ointment to her. At some point I started humming the song, which I had picked up from the girls. And upon hearing that, she told me she was quite fond of it. And then she began singing. Immediately, I found myself entranced by her voice. Though she always spoke in soft, muffled tones, her singing voice was incredibly clear, like I was listening to a chorus of angels. Of course, the moment I put that thought into words, it loses all its potency. I just turned to some loser's cheap pickup line. It really is something, though. She told me her voice could raise the dead. I'd be inclined to believe it. It's just that beautiful. While it's true Morgana could be difficult and was the most affable, I knew that at heart, she was a sensitive, compassionate girl. She would come to this graveyard every day and pray for peace for all the forgotten souls. There's more than enough proof for that. Then she surrounded herself with high walls. She was probably the kindest, most loving person I knew. And that was what drew me to her. It didn't matter what anyone said about her, how quick they were to judge her as ugly or standoffish. I knew they were all wrong. It'd be wonderful. I could just spend the rest of my days listening to her sing.